Jez back again with a look at the survival roguelike The Flame in the Flood for Xbox One and PC. The Flame in the Flood is the brainchild of the Molasses Flood, a new indie outfit comprised of major industry talent. The studio have members who worked on the likes of Halo and Bioshock, and their skill and experience really shines through in every aspect of the game. The Flame in the Flood is a survival game with roguelite elements, including procedurally generated areas and permadeath. It also has a checkpointed story mode that makes it a little more accessible than some of its fellow roguelites. In the game, you guide scouts and a trusty canine companion, Aesop, on a downriver adventure to survive a post-societal America. The game's areas, characters, and soundtrack are inspired by the southern US, from the Mississippi River to the Florida Everglades. The game's world and atmosphere punch well above its $250,000 Kickstarter origins. Vivid effects, striking art direction, and an incredible soundtrack penned by Chuck Ragan elevate The Flame in the Flood far beyond my expectations. The level of cohesion between The Flame in the Flood setting and gameplay is extremely impressive. Day and night cycles and dynamic weather systems aren't just there to look pretty, they can absolutely kill you, and dying is something you'll potentially be doing a lot of in The Flame and the Flood. As a survival game, The Flame in the Flood tasks players to scavenge materials, craft items, upgrade your gear, and manage Scout's general health as she progresses downriver. Along the procedurally generated river, random areas appear on the map for you to explore and loot, with danger lurking around every corner. Besides a bow and arrow, The Flame in the Flood has few combat mechanics, instead asking players to use crafted traps and the environment to avoid the game's feral beasts. I recall an incident where I was desperately hunting the materials to craft a bandage to remedy a series of lacerations I'd received while trying to lure a wild boar into a trap. As I was bleeding out, panic settled in, and I ended up in the midst of 3 hungry wolves. The wolves' AI reacted with uncanny realism surrounding me, while one wolf attempted to cut off my escape. Yet another death seemed inevitable, but thankfully I ran into an incredibly angry bear, who attacked the wolves for encroaching on his territory, giving me the opportunity to escape. The way the game's systems and mechanics interact can create drama and tension in a dynamic, emergent way, forgoing the need for heavy narrative. While I would have personally liked to have seen a little more exposition to give the world context, the fact the campaign rarely takes control away from you makes it incredibly immersive. Beyond the game's checkpointed story mode, The Flame in the Flood also has a true roguelike experience in its endless mode, taking scouts on an infinite survival mission downriver. Whether you die to fatigue, hypothermia, infection, or simply being eaten, The Flame in the Flood reveals the story of your journey on a map view after the game over screen, and that's what The Flame in the Flood is all about. It's an unforgettable survival experience where every player will have a different story to tell. If you're looking for something a little unique and challenging, The Flame in the Flood is a light of indie goodness that won't steer you wrong. I've been Jez from Windows Central, and thanks for watching, guys.